Attraction isn't what you think it is, and that misunderstanding is costing you everything. Most people believe attraction is about looks, money, or saying the right things. They're wrong. Dead wrong. And I'm about to prove it to you in the next few minutes by breaking down what attraction actually is at the biological, psychological, and social level. By the end of this, you'll understand why some people naturally draw others in while most people push them away without even realizing it. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Attraction is not a choice. It's a response. Your brain doesn't decide to be attracted. It reacts to specific triggers that signal survival value, genetic fitness, and emotional safety. These triggers were hardwired into your nervous system thousands of years ago when choosing the wrong partner meant death. Think about that. Attraction is an ancient alarm system designed to identify valuable mates in life or death situations. That system is still running in your brain right now, scanning everyone you meet for these primordial signals. Here's what actually triggers attraction at the biological level. First, symmetry and health markers. Your brain unconsciously scans faces and bodies for symmetry, because asymmetry signals genetic problems or disease. Clear skin, bright eyes, good posture. These aren't just aesthetic preferences. They're data points your ancient brain uses to assess genetic quality and current health status. But here's where it gets interesting. Physical attraction is just the first filter, and it's the weakest one. Studies show that after about 7 seconds of conversation, other factors begin to override initial physical assessment. That's why you see objectively beautiful people who somehow aren't attractive, and average-looking people who are magnetic. What's happening in those 7 seconds? Your brain shifts from physical assessment to behavioral assessment. And this is where most people lose the game without knowing they're playing. The second level of attraction is psychological. This is about how you make someone's nervous system feel. Not what you say, not what you do, but how their body responds to your presence. When you interact with someone, their nervous system is constantly asking questions. Do I feel safe? Do I feel seen? Do I feel seen? Do I feel understood? Do I feel challenged? Do I feel anxious? These questions happen below conscious awareness, but they determine everything. You can be physically perfect and say all the right words, but if someone's nervous system registers you as unsafe, boring, or needy, attraction dies. Here's the brutal part. Your nervous system reveals your internal state through micro-expressions, tonality, posture, and timing. You cannot fake these signals. If you're insecure, your body broadcasts it. If you're needy, it shows up in how you hold eye contact. If you're desperate for validation, it leaks through your laugh and your pauses. This is why trying hard kills attraction. When you try to be attractive, you're operating from scarcity. Your nervous system goes into performance mode, which creates subtle tension that other people's nervous systems pick up instantly. They don't think you're unattractive consciously. They just feel slightly uncomfortable around you and don't know why. Real attraction happens when your nervous system is calm, grounded, and genuinely curious about the other person rather than focused on being liked. That state is called secure attachment. And it's magnetic because it's rare. Most people are either anxiously seeking validation or avoidantly protecting themselves. Secure people who are comfortable with themselves and curious about others stand out like beacons. Now let's talk about the third level, the social level. This is about perceived value in a specific context. Value isn't universal. The same person can be high value in one environment and invisible in another. A tech billionaire might be the highest status person in Silicon Valley and completely irrelevant at an underground music venue. Your brain constantly assesses social value through status signals. Who defers to whom? Who controls the frame of conversation? Who others seek approval from? Who seems comfortable in their environment versus who seems out of place? Here's the key insight. People are attracted to those who have high value in contexts they care about. If someone values artistic creativity, being financially successful won't create attraction unless it's paired with creative respect. If someone values intellectual depth, surface-level charm doesn't land. This is why authenticity matters. Not because there's something morally superior about being yourself, but because pretending to be someone else means you'll attract people who want that fake version. Even if you succeed, you've just trapped yourself in a relationship where you have to maintain a performance forever. The most powerful form of attraction happens when all three levels align. You're physically healthy and present. Your nervous system is secure and genuinely engaged. You have real value in a context that matters to the other person. When these three factors combine, attraction isn't something you create. It's something that happens automatically. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to manufacture attraction through strategies, pickup lines, scarcity games, elaborate presentations of value. All of these approaches fail for the same reason. They're based on trying to trigger attraction rather than becoming attractive. Attraction is a byproduct of who you are, not what you do. The moment you try to create it through technique, you've already lost because trying reveals that you don't believe you're naturally attractive. And that belief, that sense of inadequacy, is what people's nervous systems actually respond to. So what does this mean practically? If you want to become more attractive, the work isn't learning lines or strategies. The work is becoming someone whose nervous system is calm, whose value is real, and whose interest in others is genuine. You do this by building actual competence in areas you care about. Not to impress people, but because competence creates genuine confidence. You do this by working through your attachment wounds so your nervous system stops seeking validation from others. You do this by developing real curiosity about people beyond what they can do for you. When you do these things, attraction stops being something you chase and becomes something you naturally inspire. People feel good around you because your nervous system isn't asking them for anything. You're not trying to extract validation or prove your worth. You're just present, engaged, and grounded. That state is rare enough to be magnetic. Most people are so caught up in their own anxiety about being liked that they never actually connect with the person in front of them. The few who can be present without agenda stand out dramatically. Here's the final piece. Attraction is reciprocal. The most sustainable attraction happens between people who are roughly equal in all three levels. Similar physical health and care, similar nervous system security, similar real-world value in contexts they both respect. When there's a major imbalance, attraction becomes unstable. The person with less perceived value becomes anxious and clingy. The person with more perceived value loses respect and interest. This is why chasing someone out of your league usually fails, and why settling for someone beneath your actual value creates resentment. The answer isn't to aim lower or higher. It's to build yourself into someone whose physical health, psychological security, and real-world value match the kind of person you actually want to attract. Then let natural selection do its work. Attraction explained. Not a mystery, not magic, just biology, psychology, and social dynamics working exactly as they were designed. Now that you know how it actually works, you can stop playing the wrong game and start building the foundation that makes attraction inevitable.